Happy Easter, everyone. As flames engulfed the beautiful Cathedral of Notre Dame on Monday evening last, a local priest spoke of his great sadness at the destruction. But seeing how much had been saved, including the Blessed Sacrament and the treasured relic of the Crown of Thorns, he also expressed his unspeakable joy, which he put down to his hope of the resurrection. This past week, Christians have been marking in prayer and in worship the two great pillars of our faith, the cross and the resurrection of Christ. At this time of the year, there are news features about relics like the Shroud of Turin, the Crown of Thorns, the True Cross, the Veil of Veronica. And topical films are shown, like The Passion of the Christ, Mary Magdalene, and The Greatest Story Ever Told. But perhaps the most vivid and tangible way to understand the mystery of Holy Week and Easter is to remember that Christ is alive, and to search for him in the real-life experiences of people who face the cross of suffering while sharing the hope of resurrection. The cross of Good Friday continues to cast a long shadow in the world, from the hungry and thirsty lands of South Sudan and Yemen, to those still fleeing from violence in Syria, to those caught up in natural disasters like the recent cyclone in Mozambique. And we can all think of people much nearer home for whom the agony of the cross is very real. This weekend I've been praying in particular for the family and loved ones and colleagues of the talented young journalist Lyra McKee, whose young life was so cruelly and pointlessly ended by violence in my home city of Derry. May she rest in peace. If the story of salvation had ended on Good Friday, we would remain a people of despair, crying out as Jesus did on the cross, my God, why have you abandoned us?" But on this Easter day, I pray instead that we can be Easter people, like the early Christians, capable of bringing the joy of the resurrection into our troubled world. Everywhere around us, people are crying out for a reason to live in hope. So our mission as Easter people is to work for the restoration of hope in society, to be a positive and charitable presence in our communities, especially with the suffering and the homeless and migrants and the poor, to be reconcilers and peacemakers who are willing to help heal the wounds of the past in our families, society and church, to be comforters reaching out to those who feel abandoned or in despair, reaching out with the good news of Easter hope. Pope Francis sums up this good news in his recent message to young people. Christ is alive, he says. He is our hope. And in a wonderful way, he brings youth to our world. And everything he touches becomes young, new, full of life. Christ is alive, and he wants you to be alive. He's in you. He's with you. He never abandons you. However far you may wander, he's always there, the risen one. Christ calls you, and he waits for you to return to him and start over again. So when you feel you are growing old out of sorrow or resentment or fear, out of doubt or failure, Christ will always be there to restore your strength and your hope. Banachtaí na Casca Oraibh Go Léir.